All right, folks, this has been a very busy week. That's right. Yours truly has been doing all kinds of amazing things going on in the community. Just came back from doing a fun driving campaign for one of our local radio stations. So I was over there supporting WNCU and definitely trying to raise some money for that powerful radio station that I used to be a blues DJ at. And I'm still a supporter of theirs. So I was over there supporting the current blues DJ, Al Dawson, and definitely we were raising some money in that capacity. And of course, I've also been doing some work in the field of improv and, of course, in the field of even being a member of a puppet troupe with a voiceover gig. So I've been actually doing that. Did that gig not that long ago with the Funky Eye Puppets, and I understand they're going to be doing some great things on the Clubhouse and on other apps as well. And of course, they might be creating other things such as comic books, movies, sitcoms, all kinds of things may be coming out of this particular group. Who knows? Maybe even some albums and other things along those lines. So truly some great things going on in that regards. I know my good friend Zach earlier this week had done a funk concert. He was up in Maryland with the Crab and Funk Festival. So I was actually checking him rocking out and having a good time as well. So all kinds of amazing things have been going on during the course of the last several days and all of that. So trying to keep myself plugged in, keeping busy and all of that. But I've always finding some amazing guests through Aaris Trader and the UBO magazine team and all of that. And she was telling me about this amazing artist named Jamizi Babe. So we're going to learn a little bit about him, what he's all about, and how he got into this musical game and some of the things that are going on in his world. So about to bring him on, and we're going to chop it up, have a great conversation, and see what's going on in his neck of the woods and all of that. So right now, going to bring him on, and we'll see what's shaking in the world of Jamizi. So Jamizi, how's it going? How's everything going in your world? Glad to see you here. Glad to
Oh
see that you're
man.
with the rocket and everything. Have some great conversation. So I guess the first question folks are going to want to know is where are you located at? I know that definitely Eris is over there around Hawaii, and I know that you're West Coast bound, but have you always been out there and have you always been into the hip hop game?
I've been I'm originally from Sacramento, California. I reside in the Bay Area now. My roots in the West has been deeply rooted, man. So I appreciate being here, and shout out UBO, and shout out my brother Nash Music League, and most definitely I appreciate being here on the show with you, and I enjoyed your intro thoroughly.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great intro. Definitely all guys doing amazing things, great things in the community.
Yeah.
So when did you first get involved in the music game and all of that? Because like I said, a lot of folks will be sitting there going like, this man looks like he might have been in the game just starting off, or he might have been in it for 10 or 15 years, or maybe 20 or 30. Because definitely, some folks might be like, maybe he's over there with some of the original folks like in back in the Boys in the Hood kind of days, because we know that that came out of the West Coast, or maybe he was more modern than that.
You know the beautiful thing about that, man, is like my whole family is musically inclined, man. I've been around music since I entered this world. You know, my grandfather was a blues musician himself and a rock musician himself. My uncles, one played the drums, one played the guitar. A gang of singers and a lot of MCs. So my whole family, man, it was destined for me to be in it. You know what I mean? And you can't shake it. When you got the music bug, it's a hard thing to get rid of, man. So, and I tried to do it many times. It's in me. It's in me.
It's in
You
you.
know,
You can't get out of it. There's no way to get out of it.
man. Oh, I tried. I tried. There's a couple of times I put the pause button, and one time pushed the pause button at a time I shouldn't have because I had everything lined up properly and pushed the pause button. You know, being in the music, it's challenging dealing with others. You
Right.
know what I mean? Dealing with others, and there at the time I was doing it. You know, you have to have a strong team. You still do have to have a strong team, but they have outlets that allow you to do it if you have the time to do it.
It's interesting you say that because, like I said, I mentioned my friend Zach, who's a funk musician. I know sometimes when we're talking, he's talking about how sometimes, even though he's a New Yorker, he's come down here to North Carolina, and sometimes in the music game, there's that crab in the barrel kind of syndrome where
Ooh.
sometimes the musicians will not necessarily back other musicians. So I was just wondering how you've dealt with that, and of course, we know that there are various rivalries that can help in that kind of regards as well, because we definitely know there was the West Coast versus East Coast kind of rap battles, and of
Mhm.
course now there's the Dirty South kind of getting into the mix as well. But how have
Mhm.
you dealt with that, and how have you even dealt with that whole kind of crab in the barrel mentality where some people may see you having success and want to do things to not encourage you?
It's interesting that you say that, because it's you're surrounded by it. I mean, competition. For some reason, people, there's a such thing called friendly competition where
Right.
you can go hard and actually enjoy what the other person bring. That's the whole reason why you do music in the first place. That's why you was inspired in the first place. You saw somebody else doing it and you wanted to have a piece of what they had and do it your own way. When it comes to the crab in the barrel mentality, is I don't understand it. I don't subscribe to it. I don't understand why it's there and why it exists. Because if you have an area where everybody is getting on, all it does is shine a bigger light. The attention comes, when the light is at its height.
Right.
And people, I've dealt with this so much, but what I tried to counteract it with is give them information. Because I'm one person. I want to see people get it. I actually get a high on seeing other people succeed. Like, I want to see somebody grow and reach them heights, because all it does is motivate me to be better, but not in a way where I'm trying to stand in your way. And I'm a lover of music first, and I want to see great music get out there, and I want it when it's out there. And then sometimes I feel like I had a piece of this, of what they done. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good when I see good music being done the right way. And I know people say, what's the right way? It's just in a way where it's not all the way negative. I like to see
Right.
positive stuff move, man. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that did answer the question and everything. One of the other things I was curious about is you mentioned having relatives that were into blues, and it sounds like they were also into funk and jazz. How important was that to your musical development, and how much of that helped you grow into the artist that you are now? Because I know a lot of people sometimes won't even understand the history of the music that they came from. And definitely, we know that we come from blues, we come from jazz, we come from
Mm-hmm.
gospel, we come from a number of other sounds as well. So how important was that to you in your growth and development? And at what point and at what age do you think you picked up your first record? And do you think you can even remember what that first record was that you actually recognized that this was the music that you wanted to listen to? Maybe it was something that your one of your parents or an uncle gave you or somebody like that.
It's funny that you say that, is because that's I think that's the reason why my pen, the way I write and look at music, is so diverse, because I was raised by so many different genres. Like, my mother, she was really, really, really into pop, 70s, 80s pop and R&B. My grandmother was super into country,
Hmm.
gospel, and the golden oldies, man, which, and like, you heard Johnny Cash, you
Yeah.
heard John Lee Hooker, you heard BB King, you heard Little Richard, you heard Willie Nelson. Then my grandpa, he's a blues man himself. He played with the Drifters, the Coasters, um, Tower Power,
Wow.
Santana. Like, he done a lot of stuff. He was on many world tours, especially with the Drifters and the Coasters. And hearing his stories when he come back, I was already hooked. I couldn't wait for him to come back from tour. And and every day, before I went to bed to get ready to go to school the next day, he'll have a story to tell me, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was hooked to the point where I literally legitly wrote my first song when I was 6. When I was
Wow.
6. And I don't know if it made sense, but I made a great attempt to it. And and it just with all those beautiful people, man, sharing their musical love and talents, man, it turned into this little beautiful melting pot of music, man.
I hear you. Now, one of the things I noticed you said in the press release in the bio that Aaris sent me and everything was that you said it was hard for people to market you and all of that. So,
Yeah,
what is it about it
yeah,
that made you a difficult commodity to market? Because I do know that marketing is very important to what we do. So, what about your
mhm.
music or your style was harder to market than, say, some others that are out there now?
You know, from what I was told, from it was, I'm not gonna say no names, but the companies had interest from labels in Colombia. It was Def Jam, and I'm saying these names. They all had the same wordage and
Right.
language, but different. They said it different. Pretty much, they was like, you're all over the place. Just nail one lane and stay there. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I was raised up with so many genres, like, and it's like I'm not a crayon. I'm not just one color. I'm all the colors,
Right.
and I paint I paint and I color very very well. I've done techno music. I've done um rock songs. I've done club songs. I like to do feel good music, but I'm all over the place. I will give them credit for that. I am all over the place. I don't subscribe to one genre. Like I'm in a rock band now,
Hmm.
and even there even there the music is different.
Wow.
So they wanted me to pretty much find one good thing to do and do it, but that would have eventually that would have killed me and burnt me out. You know, it's like you're a whole body, and they want you to just use your left arm.
Wow.
You can't survive like that.
Now you definitely can't survive like that at all. One of the things that several friends of mine that are in the music business have talked about is how music is one of those great healing factors. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world, and we know we've had all kinds of incidences, whether that's the Black Lives Matter movement, the Me Too
Mhm.
movement, or what we're dealing right now with the pandemic and everything. So, how important has that element of music been in your own life? This aspect of music being a healing force, but also a unifying force.
Music, man, it literally is that that unspoken thing. Like when people have bad days, the first thing they either eat something or they
Hmm.
put on something.
Right.
And or it's the great thing to allow you to escape. Outside of reading a book, you can escape. I know when I'm in traffic, the first thing I do, I turn on some music, and it makes time in life a little more bearable, a little more easier, and that's exactly how I view music. Exactly how I view music. I'm not shy to put how I'm feeling into the music. I'm very transparent. I'm very open to what I'm giving to people. I feel like the people deserve that. And as an artist, it will make you feel that much better because there are times where labels will try to build a character or a person that you're really not. That's why you sometimes you see artists go out the deep end. Like I never expect that because they're not being true to themselves. If you let an artist be an artist, if you believe in that person and what he's talking about, let him be who he is. He can go to sleep every day and wake up and look in the mirror every day and continue to give you great music. Artist development is one big thing that people don't do anymore. That's why you got all these one hit wonders flying in and out. But that's just my take on it. I don't know
No,
if
that
that
makes
answers the question.
that
I
definitely
know.
makes a lot of sense, and I definitely agree with you on that. And you mentioned something, in the radio world, and I've actually dealt with that world mostly with jazz radio stations, but also with some low power radio stations here in North Carolina. But I've had friends that have worked with the commercial stations, and we know whether it's on the radio side or on the performance side, it's actually run by about 4 or 5 entities. So I was wondering, how has that experience been for you in terms of trying to get your music into quote unquote mainstream radio? And have you found it better to go the independent route? And to add to that, how important has internet radio and also just the internet in general been for you to get your word out?
That's a beautiful question right there, man. Like, look, the beautiful thing about the internet radio and versus a clear channel is I've noticed that I'm trying to be politically correct while I'm saying this. I had a song that I don't know how it did it, but it leaked and it was grabbed by some clear channel stations. Um, and I want to shout out Stockton, Fresno. These are all places in California: Stockton, Fresno, LA, Bakersfield. And mind you, I'm from Sacramento, and I had no idea how my song got there, but I was very grateful. Um, I was taught and told how radio actually work, how Clear Channel actually really work. There's a sit down that takes place. You sit in a room and you put a dollar amount next to that. And a lot of artists don't know that
Right.
because I didn't. I was blindsided by it. You know, when you get behind the Wizard of Oz um, door and you realize that it's not what it. All the work that you put in, there's a whole another yellow brick road to walk
Right.
with internet. If they like you, they like you. You don't have to do no song dance. You don't have to jump. You don't have to do anything. If they like you and they see you actually working, they actually will support you. And and I thought that's what music was about. If you see an artist out there working, really pushing his line and putting the work in, not being a couch potato, just actually out there working and consistently putting out good music, that things happen for you. But with internet and all these beautiful college radios and stations and all this stuff, like there's a big world out there, and they actually support the musicians. And I hope musicians hear this and actually put more time and effort in showing the love and respect to these other DJs actually in it for the art form itself. So I appreciate somebody like you that been on Clear Channel and that show love to the independent that's actually doing it you have to have love for this for you to actually do it. You have to have love for it, because there are times where it's not no money in it. You know, it's for the actual art form that you're still pushing hard every day and sacrificing time for family and missing events. Like it's times where I miss so many family events, man. But to answer your question, to be completely frank, it's so necessary. People like you, sir, and all the other beautiful people that allow us to be on their platforms. You guys are the real superheroes, man, to allow us to get our music out there to people that wouldn't even know we exist. If you're not behind the machine pushing it, but the big machine that's pushing these artists you hear every single day, and you know why you keep hearing them, because they got all that money and the ad campaigns and all that stuff behind them. You guys are the one that helps us, man. To
Definitely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you saying that and everything. I've also been seeing a lot of people that have been pushing like engagement rooms and things of that nature within the internet. I've actually become a big fan of that app Clubhouse. I know some people are also bigger fans of Green Room, which I think is run by Spotify. But I was just wondering, how important has those kind of marketing tools been to get your music out there as well?
You know, it's actually it's so helpful, man. It makes you feel like you're actually a part of the big boys. You know, um, it's funny to see, indies being able to utilize the same type of techniques that the majors is using. And the beautiful thing about it is you feel like you belong, and that you're not being run over, because there was a time, people don't know this. Well, some people do don't know this, is that when the record, you have the Tower Records. You remember the Tower Records?
Yeah,
Okay, the
yeah,
Tower Records, the Sam Goodies,
right.
the big machines used to buy up all the ad spaces, all the posters, and all the other stuff. With this now, you can actually touch an area that you wouldn't have never been able to touch if it was still back in how the CDs and stuff was being played and being put out there, and even with the radio. So those things like that are very, very, very important. So I want any indie artists out there, man, take full advantage of that stuff while you can.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. The other thing I was curious about was, we are in the middle of the almost about to be 2 years of this pandemic and everything, and I know that that definitely impacted a lot of musicians. Some musicians wound up having to go work for Uber or DoorDash or one of the other kind of companies like that. So I was wondering,
Mm.
how did this whole pandemic affect your musical career, and how did you manage to cope during this time? Because I do know some musicians use this as a time to go back to the woodshed and practice their craft. But others had to really dig deep to find extra sources of income. So I was just wondering how this impacted you, because I do know a lot of the clubs and venues during this time have been closed, even though they're now starting to reopen, and even the school systems are starting to reopen. I know Broadway has definitely began its reopening process, and there are a number of others even here in North Carolina where I'm at. But how has it impacted you directly there in California?
Oh man, it sucks so bad. Oh my god, it sucks so bad. Oh man, see, I don't. I'm actually part time I'm in a band, and I do my hip hop stuff. Like, it really shut everything down. But what it did do, though, is what a lot of artists need to understand too, though, is your business. You need to take care of that. We can record a song any day, but making sure them I's and them T's are taken care of. A lot of artists don't do that. Like getting publishing done properly, writing done properly, that ASCAP, BMI, whatever you are using, those things are done properly. You can actually have people have more access to your stuff. And I will, for one, as long as I've been doing this stuff, and I know better because my grandpa drilled it in me. But I'm lazy when it comes to the most important thing of the paperwork. I love to create the music, but doing the proper thing, I found ways to try to not do it. So the pandemic did do that for me, and also it allowed me to find my love for that good old 9 to 5, man. I had to do that 9 to 5 thing, bro. And so to answer your question, man, it was a double edged sword for me, man. Cause my safe place is that stage, baby, and it most definitely shut that down. And I had to go and look at that good person in the mirror, that man in the mirror, and like, okay, it's time.
I definitely understand that. And how important, you actually brought up a couple of factors that I wanted to get to. One is, I agree that a lot of times people don't think about the business plan. And, they call it show business for a reason. And there are a lot of
Mhm.
performers that are very good at the show aspect, not always that great at the business aspect. So, and you
Mhm.
said that your granddad and others had drilled that into you. But at what point did it really resonate with you and really connected with you that you needed to have a business plan, maybe even certain proposals if you were going to go do concerts and things of that nature? So, at what point in your career did that really start getting in there, and you really started one, either putting together the team that you needed or doing it yourself?
You know, you'll probably be upset with me when you hear this, man. I've literally had music stolen from me multiple times, and I've heard it on the radio. I've seen it videos. I've seen it. I went to a concert that I was performing at, and I saw the person that what they would say sampled my music, and
Mhm.
I say stole my music headline while I opened up for them, and the song they stole from me because of me not doing proper business tactics. That was the said song that actually got them their chart topping, and I can't say the name because that'll be very very not smart,
Right.
but yeah. So to answer your question, sir, uh, it's so important. Copyrights, um, uh, brothers and sisters that's out there in the world, man, that's doing this music thing, please, 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 for the love of Jesus, make sure that you do your proper logging, everything that you do, because it will make you sick to your stomach when you hear a song that you wrote, somebody else singing it, and living out their dream by your hard work.
Wow.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
answered your question,
No,
but
that
yes, my
definitely.
grandpa drilled me. My grandpa drilled me for years, and I just being lazy, and it took that. It took that to like uh wake me up, a nice
Wake
little
you up,
shake. Yeah.
wake you up to some degree and get you to realize what was going on and everything. Yeah, sometimes those things are harsh to wake you up and everything.
Woo!
Sometimes that
Yeah.
harsh reality will hit you in the face more than you want it to. There is no doubt about that. I can definitely relate to that. I've seen some harsh realities hit everybody.
Mm.
Who were some of the people that you would say outside of family that were your influences, the people that you really admired growing up in terms of this music game? So, who are some of the folks that you really admired and that really pushed your dream to go further?
Oh man. For one, I gotta give it to that man. Michael Jackson was the biggest. He was the biggest influence on me, man. Michael Jackson. Oh, dude, it's like so many hits, so many names just bowling in my head right now. I'm trying to let the balls roll and slide down. Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, Sade, the Bob Marley, the Marley clan,
Mhm.
like all of them are extremely talented, man. New Edition, um, Heavy D was a huge influence of mine. He's a big boy, big sexy like I am, and wow, the list goes on and on. I'm just really just E40. Familiar with E40?
Yeah, I feel you, Steve 40 for sure.
Okay, E40. Wow, Jodeci. It's all over the place, good sir. I love country. I love country. That man Willie Nelson, my grandma played him so much that you couldn't help. But even if you didn't like country, you couldn't help it because your grandma just wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning blaring it. I'm talking about speakers to the high max. The Temptations, the Drifters, because my grandpa played with them. They got some good music. The lead singer Bobby was a good dude. I loved him, man. He was really nice to me. Um, you know what? I'm not gonna I can do this all. I can do this for a long
Yeah,
time, man.
no, exactly.
So
Like
many
the whole time.
influences. I'm so sorry, man.
No, you good. And there's a lot of great influences that you just mentioned and across different styles and everything. So it definitely sounds like you have a very diverse taste in music. Is there any form of music that you haven't been able to relate to or that you would like to learn that you haven't quite mastered yet? Because as I'm hearing you, I'm actually thinking that you probably might have even liked some of that Latin dance music that was very popular in the 90s. I know that I was doing a clubhouse room a couple of days ago, actually, yeah, a couple of days ago now, and we were playing some of that Latin dance music that was very popular in the 90s. We were also playing some reggae and some other styles of music from around the world as well. So, is there a style of music that you're hoping to learn that you haven't learned yet that it really interests you?
It's interesting that you say that because I, I'm gonna say this to get into it, dig into the answer that you would like. I was on a bus going to school, and this time it was when the kiddies don't know I had a Walkman on,
Mhm.
and this old gentleman tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned over. He's like, "What are you listening to?" And at the time, I was listening to um R. Kelly actually,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Do you listen to any of the genres?" And at the time, I was like, "Yeah." He said, Do you like music? Or are you a lover of music?" I
Mm.
said, "I love music." He said, "Do you listen to?" He started throwing out some random genres. "Do you listen to classical?" And I said, I've heard some, there's some that's really interesting." He said, "What about polka?" So I said, "No, I've never heard of it." And he said, "Then you're not a lover of music. You just like music. So if you really love music, you will go find some and listen." So to answer your question, polka, that's a hard listen, good sir.
Yes, yes.
That's a hard listen, good sir. Anybody like polka out there? No disrespect. That's a hard listen. I tried. Oh my god, I tried to even incorporate some of that, and I can't find. It does something to me, man. I can't do it. I
Can't
can't
do
do
it.
it.
Can't
Oh,
get
I
stuck.
try. Oh, I try, Mr. Lee. Oh, I try. That's a hard one, man.
I understand. Yeah, that is a difficult one to get with. I've definitely seen some polka bands even here, and you're right, that can be a hard one. But
Oh,
then
that's a
you'd be
hard listen.
shocked by some music that you hear because I know I had heard of this band called Almanac that is actually a Scottish drumming band. So if you know those kettle drums, they can actually get a little bit funky, almost like an African style funk, and it actually surprised me
Okay.
when I heard them because I'm going like, that's more different beat than I expected. But yeah, it was a Scottish band. I'm going like, wait a minute. He's got guys with the long Scottish beards, looking like another version of ZZ Top, and they're over there rocking out. It was amazing watching that, and they rocked the house. It was actually at a festival that's held here around the Fourth of July weekend that I met them several years back when they were coming to perform at a festival, another festival in the mountains of North Carolina. So they
Oh, nice.
they definitely threw me off, and I can say the same thing about some Irish jig music that I heard as well. But you're right, there's some other music that I'm sitting there going like, nope, can't quite get with it. So I and I think we all have those styles that don't quite resonate for whatever reasons. They may not resonate in whatever is
Oh,
going on in your life at that particular time. But I do think
oh
it's
yeah.
always good to explore different music. I've actually got turned on to some
Mhm.
interesting sounds from India, kind of the music that you might hear if you watch a Bollywood music, and some of that can actually be quite interesting and actually have some real good danceability to it as well.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree. I agree. I agree. 110%. When you asked the question, what did you do during your downtime during the pandemic? I was actually at the time working two jobs, trying to, like you said, make that thing that you call ends meet.
Right.
And I ran across some people listening to, um, I like to say some uh, Indian music, if you will.
Right.
And I was very curious. So they had me play some. I can't remember the name of the artist. I don't want to say the name wrong,
Right.
but I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what the heck they were saying, but the grooves was interesting, and you can hear the talent in
Right.
it on how they sing, and I'm like, wow. Outside of TV shows, certain TV shows or movies, I would have never ever cared to listen, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, like I
So
said, I've been pleasantly surprised by some of those musics that you don't expect in anything. What are some of the biggest lessons you think you've learned just in general from this whole um, pandemic, but just life in general? Um, and maybe there are lessons that you got not just from your granddad and some of the other musicians in your family, but just in general that you have learned during this musical journey.
have fun,
Mm.
and find ways to love life. And one thing that my grandpa always drilled to me, and it stays with me. He said, "You're never too good to learn more. You're
Right.
never too good to learn more." And that's why like my drive is so heavy, is because and friend of mine, even my band, they I think I drive them literally crazy, because like no matter what gangs, if even no matter if it's minute or whatever, I don't smell roses, man. And I know I should, because that's one thing my grandpa probably would be mad about, is and just accept what you've accomplished, and just know that there's another step to make. So I don't know how to smell roses, man, and I'm trying to learn that. Uh, being in the military family, is you accomplish this, on to the next. You accomplish this, on to the next. So learning everything is from growing up from different musicians, and one thing I was always afraid of, and I think that's the reason why I don't smell the roses, is most the greatest musicians in the world, to me, people haven't heard of.
Mm.
They have not heard of them. And I spent a time in LA on Hollywood Boulevard. My grandmother, she never wanted me to follow my grandpa's footsteps. She said there's an unfortunate person on every single star in Hollywood. They're
Hmm.
all either musicians or failed actors.
Mm.
She never wanted me to follow the music thing. But you married a musician, and all my uncles are musicians. What did you expect is going to happen?
Right.
So to fully answer your question, I learned to stay humble, to stay kind, and to always know that things are bigger than yourself. So I try to live my life like that, man. Try to appreciate as much as I possibly can. And sometimes I feel like that. Most times I feel like that. But I try to be a good person as much as I
Yeah,
possibly can.
that makes a lot of sense. The other thing that I was curious about is a lot of times we hear about artists that are also using their platform, just like athletes do, to talk about political or social justice issues.
Mhm.
And I'm actually a fan of that kind of attitude. But I'm just wondering, how important do you think it is for artists to be activists, or to actually use their platform to make a difference in the world on whatever the issue is? It might be an issue around mental health. It might be an issue around homelessness, or it could be one of these issues like what's going on between our youth and our police and things of that nature. So, how important do you think it is, and how much of that kind of work do you do with your art?
It's extremely important. I'm very careful on the stance I take on certain things, because I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. I'm a person that I'm for what works. All I want to see, I stand behind this 100%. I'm for equality. I'm for love and peace, is peace. And my band, we do a lot. And me as a solo hip hop artist as well, I'm always a part of raising funds. Most of my band's shows we done to help raise for cancer, homeless, autism,
Mm.
um, just a lot of other meaningful organizations, man. Because I was homeless at a time. I was very, very proud. I'm not afraid to share this. I was very proud. Um, I didn't want help. I was too ashamed to be helped. So being a part of anything that has to do with the homeless, I'm always there for it. And it is our job to alert people, because we have a platform that a lot of people that don't have the voice or the reach, they feel like they don't have the voice or the reach
Right.
to alert people of what's going on, because there are a lot of times people going by their day to day, day and out, and they're so consumed on what they're doing to try to make ends meet and try to keep the lights on, food on the table, all the other stuff. People sometimes just have a same routine every single day. So it is important to be there for your fellow man and woman.
Yeah, speaking of being there for your fellow human and everything, I know there's something that happens to all artists. I don't care whether it's a painter or a musician. Is
Mhm.
that too often the community in general tries to get them to do things for little to nothing? So I'm sure you've probably been a victim of that. So I'm just wondering, how do you deal with
Yes.
it when folks are trying to get you to do a gig and don't necessarily want to pay you what is your worth, whether that's a gig as a musician or your gigs as an MC, because I also know that you're an MC as well. So I do know that that does happen, that sometimes people will want to have you do it, or maybe on the friends and family plan, meaning that you're doing it just as a favor to them because they're your friends and family, or they want you to do it just because it's something that they feel that is a good cause and that you should do it, even though they probably wouldn't tell that plumber that or their doctor that, but they love telling the creators that. So I was just wondering your thoughts and how you deal with that.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. They got I've been had on that friends and family plan so more often than I would like to have. But like you said, man, I'm a strong advocate on change. Um, sometimes there's something that's not broke. Um, but for the most part, man, if I can do something to enrich somebody's life that don't have something, man, that means so much more to me than the money. To be completely honest with you, but it has shot on the business side. It shot me in the foot. It actually um, took air out of our tires. People don't realize, how much a drumstick costs, or how much a guitar string costs, or how much gas it costs to get to where you're going to. And sometimes we take time out of our job, we lose money to go help people raise money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and people prey on that. They know that musicians need to play,
Oh yeah.
and we enjoy that stuff. So people know this. They know these things about us. They figured out our DNA, man. They know how to pull strings and put that magic trick on us, man. So to answer your question, dude, I've been a victim
I hear
more
you. I
times
think
than I
we've all
like.
been victims. I think we've all been victims more than we like to admit and everything. Now, the
Oh
other
my
thing we've
god.
been victims of, and I'm sure you've been a victim of as well, is that those people that want to actually shoot us down and don't want to encourage us and things of that nature. So when you run into those people that are the negatives that don't want to be there to encourage you, and that can even happen sometimes in your own family, how do you deal with that? And how do you also deal with that nagging no that can exist in our own heads? Because I know I've been victims of that, and I know
Oh,
many of other performers have as well, where you will maybe not even go for the gig because you're already feeling that there's another band that they already love more than they love you, and therefore you might talk yourself out of even applying for the gig, whether that's a festival, whether that's a club, or whether that's whatever. So I was just wondering, how have you dealt with those negatives, whether it's the internal no or some of those outside forces that might be telling you no as well?
I would like to say this, and I'm going to walk into my AA meeting and say, "Hi, I'm a victim of allowing family kill shot my stuff down more than anything, dude. To the point where um something I alluded to earlier, where I had everything lined up, contracts lined up. I was on some tour. I was on tour, and I done shows with some amazing big artists that is still chart chopping today. I allowed them to. I have people tell me, in hip hop, oh, you man, you're too old for this, or maybe your window has passed, or they will only show up to shows if it's an artist that they actually want to see as well. And these are the same people that said they love me,
Hmm.
and not realizing all it takes is one ear,
Right.
one song, one thing to change everything. It was a cousin. I'm actually gonna say his name because he needs to be put on blast. Nah, I'm not that guy. It was a cousin of mine. He's like, nah, man, you shouldn't do that. Until he heard my song on the radio,
Hmm.
and he was with a group of his friends, and they was like, I like this song, and then he told them that it was me, his cousin. Oh, this is my cousin. Oh, he's really good. He's really good. So I've done with that. I've done with that, but now I'm a little older and I'm a little more confident. Always been confident, but I'm a lot more tunnel visioned, and sometimes
Mhm.
I shut my ears off on people because I'm actually going to live my life the way I want to live my life, and it's something I believe in wholeheartedly. I'm going to die doing it. and I could be smile and tell the man up there I did it my way, like Mr. Snatcher. I don't know if that answers your question, sir.
Yeah, that
I don't know
did
if that.
answer the, and that definitely answered the question. And everything. Who are some of those? Because I saw some of those names, and you're right. There were some big names on that list. But for those that are watching, and we are here on the international broadcast media, which means we have uh, artists as well as people that are listening from around the globe. So, who are some of those big names that you had the chance to perform with, and what are some of the lessons that you learned from them?
Um, I've done shows with Nipsey Hussle. I've done shows with E40. I've done shows with Snoop Dogg. I've done shows with Two Chains. Done shows with artists named Problem. Um, some Bay legends like I don't know if you're familiar with Jacka. I've done shows with, and even on the rock side, I've done shows with Saving Abel. I've done shows with Uncle Cracker. I've done shows with um, a band called Moonshine Bandits, Demon Jones. I've done shows with Rehab. Done shows with Long Beach All Stars. Like the list goes. I can do this forever.
Right.
But
Yeah. No, that gives you an idea, and definitely whether it was Snoop or whether it's Two Chains or some of the other ones that you named, what are some of the lessons that you feel that you learned from those industry pros? I mean, definitely your folks were industry pros, but these are some of the more modern day industry pros. So, are there lessons that they taught you that maybe you didn't get from your granddad and some of the older legends that you have also got? Or maybe they're the same lessons. What are some of the things that you learned from those icons as well?
what I've learned is how the importance of having a solid team.
Mm,
I've seen they was able to shield themselves and focus actually on the task in hand. They didn't have to talk to promoters. They didn't have to get ushered through people trying to get stuff from them. Um, of the importance of team, that's the one of the biggest things that I've noticed that each and every last one of them had that's successful. They had somebody handle. They had a team of people, and one person had a designated thing to deal with. This person talked to the promoter. This person talked to the sound person. This person had a plan to get them on the stage and off the stage immediately, so they can freshen up, and then they could choose either mingle with the fans or just dip out. And that's something that I didn't have at that time, which was I dealt with everything. I talked to the promoter, talked to the sound person. Um, I dealt with people saw me back there with these people trying to get stuff from me. It's like one thing about the industry, man. People have no shame whatsoever, and they don't have the moral compass on some of the people that I dealt with. I don't think it's there anymore. Like it's not existent. So I've learned on how the professionalism on how they conduct themselves, and that was something that I still to this day strive to do. The only thing that I don't have the heart to do is say no to a fan. Um, I still I remember being that fan that wanted to just say hello or something or sign something. I know that they don't have time like I do, but I don't I don't care what level I'm on. I'm going to always make time for them for the fans because they're people forget they the ones the reason why they have the lifestyle they have outside of them creating the material. It's the fan that promotes it and spends it and pays for it and shares it. I don't know if that answered your question, but I
no,
hope
that
it did.
definitely answered the questions, and definitely I can see those being some very valuable lessons and everything. Where did you actually get the name Jamize Babe from, and how did people come up with that name, or how did that whole name process come about?
My my original name at the time was Melly Mel. And I had that since I was a kid. My grandmother who raised me gave me the name. But it was so many. I read across a lot of people having that name, and I'm like, okay. And I was people were mistaking me for other people, and or people was making mistaking them for me. So my actual name is Jamel. So all I did was took the two L's and replaced them with two Z's and a Y. And all people always call me baby. All the girls just got. I'm not bragging and boasting, but the ladies used to call me baby. So Jameezy and baby is two of the it's two of the things. That's how it came. Nobody had that name. Nobody had Jameezy. So it's true to me. It's true to my name.
That makes a lot of sense and everything. I was actually going to get to the whole thing about the ladies in the industry and everything, but it looks like, because I see that a couple of your songs have to do with a popular football team over there in the West Coast. So I'm assuming that you are or were a 49ers fan, because I do see that you have some songs revolving around the 49ers. And when I think of the 49ers, I think of the San Francisco 49ers, even though it's not my team. I've always been a diehard Vikings fan, but I do have friends and definitely some acquaintances that are definitely in that 49ers space. And I don't think Sacramento has a football team, even though y'all do have a basketball team. So I
Yes,
can
we
see where
do.
the 49ers would be something that y'all would gravitate toward and all of that. So is that something that you've always been a fan of?
Yeah. Oh, from birth, man. I got a 49ers onesies, and I don't even know if that was like a thing then, but I had one. And it was them and the Chicago Bears. And the reason why Chicago Bears, my granddad liked Walt. He loves Walter Payton. Loves Walter Payton. So he used to find some. He had a friend that was, I don't know how they did, especially around that time. How did they tape those games? He used to tape the Chicago games and mail it to my grandpa, and he had me watching it with him. That's how I fell in love with football, is sitting next to my uncles and my grandpa. But to answer your question, I'm a diehard Niner fan. Diehard, man, and I love my Kings too.
All
Yeah.
right. And if you were not a person involved in the arts, what would your other career be if the arts was not the go-to career? Like if you had to pick something else to do, what would it be?
What's crazy is I'm actually I actually began to fall in love with um the medical career, man. I I don't know. It's after how the pandemic hit, and those are people that get lost in the shuffle, man. And they was on the front line of all this stuff, man. It's the people that was the RNs, the doctors, the nurses, like all the people in the field outside of the other essential workers. I gotta give shout out to the people in the retail stores, and all the beautiful firefighters and also that are actually out there, handling business. So to answer your question, healthcare is just something that's been it's been something that's been on the top of my brain lately, and I think that would be something that I'll probably be interested outside of writing movie scripts.
And that's what I'm here to ask, because I understand that. Well, first off, you are also an MC. So were you the one that was MCing like in high school and performances back when you were in high school and elementary school, or is this MC work something that came out of the music part of your career and the hip hop? Because we do know that MCs are a vital part of hip hop, but they're also just the MCs for events as well. So I guess the first question is, what type of MC are you? Because there are various types of MCs. So what type of MC are you? And then also, I was going to ask later about the ghostwriting, but tell us a little bit about the MC background and how you got into that.
Well, I'm most definitely an MC across the board, man. I can MC parties, I can MC shows. I love MC, especially the McDoubles from McDonald's. I love the MCs on that, and I'm an MC of a musician as well. Anything that MC you could think of, I'm pretty good at. Mariah Carey, love her too. Anything with an MC on it, man, I'm good with it.
So whatever's got an MC, you're good with those
Yeah, I'm
MC.
good with it, man. I'm good with it.
So anything that's got those M and those C's combined, you're good for going there, whatever, including Mariah Carey.
I'm
That
good, Mariah
actually
Carey,
is,
man. You gotta like that Carey, man.
yeah, gotta have that as Mariah Carey. So
Yes, sir.
And that's something that I know has been in the industry for a while. Is there has been some speculation that the industry can sometimes get a little bit too negative toward our women. So I was just wondering your thoughts on that and how you deal with that in your own music, because I do know that there have been some people that have felt that the women don't get as much respect as they should get, and that they also are sometimes degraded in some of our lyrics and things out of the hip hop community. Not that hip hop is alone,
Mhm.
because blues has also had
Mhm.
some songs that have been
Oh yeah,
derogatory toward women as well. But I was just
oh
wondering
yeah.
your thoughts about how women are treated in the industry.
You know, this is a two part. First part, in my music personally, man. You know, I was raised by strong women, strong women, and no house can be properly built, man, without the guidance and the strong backbone of a woman, man. So my music is about love and as a kid, yeah, when I first started before I started recording, you know, you have your influences, Snoop, Dre, all that. And I grew up in the West, like real West Coast stuff, man. So, you know, learning. It was my grandpa that heard one of my early songs that I was writing. I was reciting it in my bed, and he's like, nah. He said, nah, grandson, that ain't how you do that. He was the one. I was 9 at the time. So ever since then, I changed on how I wrote, and my stuff is very positive towards women. It's about love, man, and compassion and all the other stuff. But on the flip side too, though, there's a lot of women I've seen that actually love those songs that a lot of people would say is negative or derogatory. They absolutely love it. So it's a very, very weird double-edged sword, dude. I don't know, man. But for me,
Yeah,
yeah, dude, it's weird. Oh man, I've actually did a show where there's I'm actually a fan of his work too. Loonies. I don't know if you're familiar with the Loonies,
yeah,
but okay, they had a song in there called I don't know if you can say these words, but it's pretty much you can just follow me. H&B's.
right.
These women knew the word for word. They loved it.
Wow.
And it's interesting, bro. Like a lot of people, um, you know, this is a interesting topic, man. A lot of people, we have these conversations backstage a lot of times, like with women too. And there's a big number, man. They be like, yeah, I don't like it, but you know, it just depends on how you use it. And I'm like, wow, wow, okay. So, um, are you still there, brother? Something happened. Mm.
He disappeared. Hold on. And that got a little money. No, kick me out. Hopefully he'll come back. Oh, good hour. Oh, good. Good. It kicked me out. All right. Hopefully, he's going to come back very shortly. It kicked me out temporarily, but I'm going to reach out and see if we can't find a way to get him back. But in the meantime, we're going to play some of the music because it kicked me out and everything along those lines. So hopefully he's still around or he'll pop back in. But it did kick me out. So we're going to see if we can't bring him back and everything. So we're going to see if he pops back. And I'm going to write a note to Eris. And if she's up, she will tell him to come back. But if not, we're going to play some of his music and let y'all check out what he's all about in that regards. Uh, Hopefully it will come back and we'll continue this conversation. But I will find out very shortly in that regard. So we're going to see if Mr. Jabizi Babe is going to come back. But in the meantime, we're going to give you a taste of his music, which is actually what I was trying to do when it kicked me off. So we're going to see if this actually works and we can get a taste of Jabizi and let y'all check out what he's all about in that sense. So we're going to bring that up right now, and hopefully y'all will get a chance to catch out more of the interview. There, and then let's see if we can't get y'all this YouTube. Sorry about that. So we'll see if that'll work. So then we're gonna see if we can't find Jabizi. Jabizi Babe. Jabizi Babe. to history. All right, I have another idea. If at first you don't succeed, try something else. That's why they call it editing. Oh, she didn't message me. Good. Kick me out. Now we're going to find out. Now we're waiting for Chapizi to come back, and hopefully he's going to come back. We're going to see if we can't share some of his music with you right now. So we're going to give you a taste of some of his music from back in the day. And like I said, hopefully he'll come back in and everything. We were having some technical glitches on this end, and that does happen from time to time. Sometimes those technical glitches will happen, and you just have to roll with the punches. So we're going to see if we can't get him to come back. But in the meantime, we're going to give you a little dose of what his sound is all about. There's some truly great music, and I want y'all to catch it and hear what he's all about. So we're going to bring that up right now, and hopefully y'all will enjoy some of this music of his from back in the day, as well as maybe we'll get some of the more current music as well. So we're going to bring up one of these lovely videos of his and let you check out some of his sound. And like I said, hopefully he'll come back in later on, but he was talking about being a 49ers faithful, and he definitely has some songs around that. But one of the songs that I was really liking was this song that he did around Granddaddy Swag and all of that. So I might bring that up. But first, we're going to do the 49ers anthem. So let's check out a little bit of this one and see what this one is all about.
I invited the pier wheel of Bill Walsh. Call that cab, bring that Lombardi back. Reminiscing of the glory days of Joe Montana days. Up and down the field, Michael Crab catch the rock. The speed is outrageous. Vernon Davis, red or blue pills, defense in the matrix. We got the movers and shakers rotating in. Match your problems, your coordinator can't contend. And I ain't even spoke about the D. Top 5 last couple of years. Oh yeah, you heard me? Got the Smiths will sack ya. Pat Willis will got ya. Blatch ya, got ya. All in the dirt, Naval Bowman, the bone crusher, bringing the hurt. And like Harbaugh said at the back, man, who got it better than us? So let your 49er flag fly. Just let your 49er flag fly. Come on, come on. Ready, why go cry? Yeah, yeah. Hands up high. Come on. Push the G line across the goal line, and who got it better than us? Nobody.
Red lace court Cortez Knights, let me take it back. Jerry Rice jersey, split team throwback. The Niners got 4 rings. That's a rip. We got 5 on the quest for 6. Steve Young, pump fake with show to fool the cameraman. Real Niner fans from North Cal and Amsterdam. 85 spread wide, automatic mismatch. Cap with the fast ball, Vernon with the quick catch. 4 all-pro linebackers on the best team. Cardinals, Sea Chickens, Rams. R.I.P. in the couch we trust. Harbaugh, we must win. We did it before, we're gonna do it again. Welcome to the Bay where we got our own lingo. How many rings? We got a handful. Cinco, Jerry Red Bank, Gold Dane, Senate Widows. Oakland Raiders, Primer, Pinto.
Come on, come on. Ready, why they go cry? Yeah, put your hands up high. Come on. Push the G line across the goal line, and who got it better than us? Nobody. I embodied the peel wheel of Jay Rice. My condolences when it's game time, the grind time, the red shine, the gold shine. Yeah, we gold mine. Dig deep the history that you will see the most dynamic players that ever wear football cleats. You see the lettermans, you see the patches. It's called a dynasty. It's we who you aim to be. No better force to represent the NFC, and we got the West on lock. War call whoop. On the field, we bring the hat to steel. The heart of a champion, you never break the wheel. As the wheel keeps spinning every single minute that we fight to the ending, and it's no quitting in it. We push the D line across the goal line, and who got it better than us? Select your 49er flag fly. Come on. Position ready, why they go cry? Yeah. Put your hands up high. Come on. Push the G line across the goal line, and who got it better than us? Nobody. Yeah, let's not forget some of the greats of the Empire. Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, George Seifert, Dwight Clark, Tom Rathman, Eric Davis, Brent Jones. We got Mooch, Jesse Spola, Brian Young, Ray Worsham, John Taylor, ADD, Merton Hanks, James Stubblefield. That's just some of the greats. Appreciate y'all. Rap gang swag. Like Moolah, Measy. Yeah, six speed, run flats. Burnt orange, front to back. Black flakes, hide the match. Interior, same that. Concrete, I beat that. Red bone on the side of me. She rolling up the finest tree. Turned up, Measy baby. Head bobbing, make cocky dropping, make beats, banging my speakers out. Granddaddy swag they talking about. Pop it on, never out. Red bone, head to mouth, not the head. Yeah, I'm talking about. She rolling in, I'm rolling out. My zipper up, no need a mouth. Them Benjamins, them Jacksons, them Grassmen. I need that. Big crowd, show that. Ass flag, I post that. LeBron James, circus act, ain't who the hell want a piece of that? I'm rocking on every time zone. Got a different chick, different phone. Calling me, texting me, fantasizing about sexing me. I can't be who I can be. I'm chasing you and I chasing she. In a who that is he that. To me's baby on full attack. Like Westbrook to the cup, get posterized, leaving us. In your face, no tape headed. My chick cool, but mine's ready. Got us with the tape like a now later. Men around the globe, got so many flavors, so many coops, so many days. My super taters like I'm Taylor Game. Not about the money, I'm about the fame. Fuck up the ice on your way. I'm good, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that you Fuck good, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that will life. Benjamin, Ben Jackson, Ben Jackson, I need that. Benjamin, Ben Jackson. Fuck good, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that you Fuck good, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that will White girls be frontin', man. Knowing that you really want it, baby. Get a dose of that hurricane. Fall back on me, baby. Girl thinking I eat it sloppy. I spell my words, they call me Poppy. That granddaddy swag. Beat you down good, girl, call you a cat. Young Sims, they get trim. They call them squeeze, cause you squeeze them out. Get trim, face them out. Perfect aim, head them out. Fish them in, build them out. Attitude, get clown. Popularity, word them out. Give me hate, get cheese. Ball the picture, say cheese. Rocky, get cheese. Ball the picture, say cheese. AC, get cheese. Ball the picture, say cheese. Knock them down like Pacquiao. Switch it up, crank style. Drill them in, reel them out. Vodka, cranberry ice. I'm trying to live that daily life. Hey, I said vodka, cranberry ice. I'm trying to live that gay spot. Hey, vodka, cranberry ice. I'm trying to live that life. Vodka, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that will life. Benjamin, Ben Jackson, Ben Grandstand, I need that. Benjamin, Ben Jackson, Ben Grandstand, I need that. Benjamin, Ben Jackson, Ben Grandstand, I need that. Vodka, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that life. Vodka, cranberry ice, I'm trying to live that will life. Measy, baby, raw like. Need a hit, homie, I'm the designated shooter. I'm like KD from the 3-point. Cali need to connect and go beast mode. Connect all sectors and go ham. That's how you get the bread and the cheese, you understand? See, I can have a Sanchez Day, Caesar fries in the bay, have a shake in the lay, and that's money on me, and that's straight game for free. Jimmy's doing numbers, low key. Don't like the brag, let my work speak for me. I know they like who that. Big boy looking like he a millionaire. Sidestepping like the young hater, give me that. Big 6 to the house, team game with all about getting money, large amounts. If the Bay get on, then we all get on. Reno get on, then we all get on. Vegas get on, then we all get on. Sacramento is what I call my home. LA get on, then we all get on. Fresno get on, then we all get on. Dago get on, then we all get on. But Cali is what I call my home. Measy on the head like a snap back. B Smith, let the beat. See, I don't think they really understand. B Smith, let it pound again. Measy baby, put a whooping on. Any naughty girl like to get a whooping on. I'd rather beat themselves, get my money on. Independent grind, Measy get a digi on, and that's straight money on me, and that's straight game for free. Jimmy's doing numbers, low key. Don't like the brag, let my work speak for me. I know they like who that. Fat boy looking like he a millionaire. Sidestepping like the young hater, give me that. Big 6 to the house, team game with all about getting money, large amounts. If the Bay get on, then we all get on. Reno get on, then we all get on. Vegas get on, then we all get on. Sacramento is what I call my home. LA get on, then we all get on. Fresno get on, then we all get on. Dago get on, then we all get on. But Cali is what I call my home. Measy on their head like a ball cap. Beast man, let the beat. See, I don't think they really understand. Beast man, let it pound again. You can check it. We show a lot of hella real estate. Jimmy's baby spreading love, man, safe to stay. And worldwide, but I reside in the west side. Sacramento, California, and that's straight money on me, and that's straight game for free. Jimmy's doing numbers, low key. Don't like the brand, let my work speak for me. Yes, sir. The Bay get on, then we all get on. Reno get on, then we all get on. Vegas get on, then we all get on. Sacramento is what I call my home. LA get on, then we all get on. Fresno get on, then we all get on. Dago get on, then we all get on. But Cali is what I call my home. Dr. Modesto, then we all get on. Red and Chico, then we all get on. Matika Tracy, then we all get on. Madera to Orange County, then we all get on. Washington State to AZ, then we all get on. Folsom, Roseville, then we all get on. Mexico to overseas, then we all get on. And everybody in between, we all get on, yeah.
Baby, it's you, the only girl I think about. It's you, I love the way you put it down. It's you, girl, my drug is you, girl. Ooh, oh.
The measure of beauty is when you wake up, still looking fly, no makeup. You can tell your girlfriends to ease up. They can wink or the like I never touch. I never thought I'd dig a girl this much. See, I'm aroused by a single touch. Living life, come more style, you fabulous. It's not you no more, girl, let's make it up. I'm a trendsetter, could do nothing better. You got me floating like a bottle with a love ladder. Ocean of love is what I swim through. One dip, I'm hooked, girl, I'm feeling you. Why I hope the feeling, girl, we both grown. Without you, there's no home. No matter how hard I fight, I only want you, alright?
Baby, it's you, the only girl I think about. It's you, I love the way you put it down. It's you, girl, my drug is you, girl. Ooh, oh.
I just wanna call you up, just to say what's up or hear your voice. I'm floating on no man's land. I never been here before, it's so new to me. It is what it's supposed to feel like. My boys say I'm wrapped too tight. Hey, maybe you're right. Then I could be alone like you. Cruiser Boulevard, sipping 40 to 2. I'm a trendsetter, I'm doing good. My girl's better. We fly together to avoid the bad weather. Yeah, we chilling on the beaches. Well, I'ma mind your features. She had my heart from the go. And I'ma never let it go. No matter how hard I fight, I only want you, alright?
Baby, it's you. Only girl I think about. It's you. I love the way you put it down. It's you. Yeah. My drag is you. Yeah. I love it how you put a smile on my face. I like the way something about you. Oh, no. I know everything about you. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, I know it's you. Oh, baby, it's you. The only girl I think about is you. I love the way you put it down. It's you, girl. My drug is you, girl.
Yeah. Jennifer, Jamizy, and Tara Thompson. Hey, hey, baby, it's you. I'm a show rocker, crab brain vodka. I miss to break it all proper. That ass pop pop like a shot. Forget about it, I'm a monster. I'm leaning like the head on tip. See the ass move the hips like a drum and a kick. Dev on the beat, Jamizy through the speaks. Unfold your arms, homie, bounce on me. Hey, the ladies right there, that's a freaks too. And that thing see through. It's amazing what a drink can do. Pop that ass up and go, ooh. Oh, you looking right, boo. Girl, I wanna fight you. Them apple bottom jeans looking right, boo. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now that girl so thick, that girl so thick, that girl so thick, that girl thick. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Go ahead, stick it out. And show us what it's all about. And you can make a clap too. Gelatin bouncing like tickaboo. Hell yeah, that's the way I am. I'm in love with a big booty girl like Pam. And you'll never understand till you see the big booty eclipse your hands like, ooh. Girl, you looking right, boo. Ooh, I wanna fight you. Apple bottom jeans let me bite too.
Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now that girl so big, that girl so big, that girl so big, that girl stay. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Let's go. Yeah, we in here. Back it up, back it up. Hey, hey. Jamaican. Let's go. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now that girl so big, that girl so big, that girl so big, that girl stay. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up. Now back it up, little mom, back it up.
All right, we're going to give you one more dose of Jabeezy, and hopefully he's going to come back one more time. But if not, we'll try to wrap up the interview on another day with a couple of questions about his ghostwriting and a couple of other things that we've got curiosity about as well. But I definitely think y'all got a feel of what he's all about and his energy and all of that. But right now, let's check out this particular song that y'all might enjoy as well.
Mezio Jack, no vagina here, cut the check. Money first. Then sex. I got a hard on for the Benjamins. So hard that she invited a few friends. I'm Jameezy and he's Chucky. She wanted me to stab that fluffy, husky, rusty, big old booty. Big girl workout, get that to me. I'm a show killer. Me and my familia. Great April stage, a silverback gorilla. Pop, lock, and drop, see I go fishing. Eat it to science, eat equals square, Kama Sutra, all the positions. Perceive wall, explore the render. You can have your girl back, return the center. I'm out it. I go hard every show.
They like, damn, he gone. The whole crowd in the uproar screaming, help me, see, tell me, see, go. Grinding, I do the damn thing. I'm shining like baby, it rains. The whole crowd going insane, screaming, help me, see, tell me, see, go. You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? Then put your hands in the air. You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? Then put your hands in the air. You fucking with me? She like the angel hair pasta ragu. Stain the membrane when I fall through. Get about this, she hook true. I'm like the white in the paint, nothing you can do. I'm the cool cat, some of them hate on. I'd rather see you dance with your hands up high, like you doing a handstand. Jimmy's baby chillin' with the man command stand. You feeling me right? So I hate. I pull the ladies out. So what the hate about? This thing gon' smack, call me let it smack. You see them girls right there, ready for the pack. From the, so I give it to them like you can have the top spot. Money and love, I'ma get it everywhere, man, to somebody. I go hard every show. They like, damn, he gone. The whole crowd in the uproar screaming, help me, see, tell me, see, go. Grinding, I do the damn thing. I'm shining like baby, it rains. The whole crowd going insane, screaming, help me, see, tell me, see, go. You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? Then put your hands in the air. You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? You fucking with me? Then put your hands in the air. You fucking with me?
You hear him loud, beating on your block, all they want is that.
Speakers up, you hear it loud, head bumping in the club, man, they want that. They want that, so we give them that. They want that, so we give them that. They want that, so we give them that. Man, they want that bass jack, give them that.
The beat's down low, turn it up right now. Christian.
Pretty baby, oh yeah, you my baby. We gon' something crazy. It's only for my baby, man. This year been something crazy. We gon' drink up all this baby. We gon' drink up all this baby. Yeah. I'm gonna invite all my friends. We gon' party to no end when the clock strikes 12. New chapter begins. We gon' something crazy. We gon' drink up all this baby. We gon' drink up all this baby. Yeah. We gon' laugh and we gon' drink and we gon' and we gon' sing and we gon' scream and we gon' yeah. And we gon' party like it's New Year's. And we gon' party for the hell, yeah. And we gon' love is key. Love is key. And we gon' let it, we gon' drink and we gon' with the world. We gon' party with the crew. Party with the crew. We gon' pass out. And we gon' laugh, we gon' drink and we gon' yeah. We gon' dance, get we gon' yeah. And we gon' party like it's New Year. And we gon' party for the New Year. And we gon' laugh and we gon' drink and we gon' And we gon' laugh and we gon' drink and we gon' yeah. And we gon' party like it's New Year. And we go, one, dos, tres. We gon' laugh, we gon' drink and we gon' yeah. Now we gon' laugh and we gon' drink and we gon' yeah. And we gon' party like it's New Year. And we gon' party for the New Year. And we gon' love is key. Love is key. And we gon' laugh, we gon' drink and we gon' with the world. We gon' party for the New Year. We gon' pass out and we gon' and we gon' laugh and we gon' drink and we gon' yeah. And we gon' party like it's New Year. And we gon' those dress. We gon' on them baby. Oh yeah, that's my baby. We gon' sound crazy. Only for my baby, man. This shit been sound crazy. It's only for my baby, and it's only for my baby. Yeah. We gon' and we go, and we go, and we go. 1, 2, 3.
Labs to Go is your vaccination destination for students, teachers, nurses, or anyone wanting to get first-time, seasonal, and booster immunizations. We also offer titers to ensure you're immune to vaccine. At Labs to Go, there are no doctor orders or insurance needed. We can come to you because we are Labs to Go.
Get your vaccination at our office, or we can come to your business, school, or even go to your home. When you need to know, call Labs to Go.
I love to introduce somebody really awesome. He is a master of training other speaker, and he is a great speaker because I saw him speaking, and he looks like athlete. He looks like a fighter, but when he starts speaking, he speaks with a real warm heart and really touch people's heart and really fascinate people.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and square holes. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them or disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the one thing you cannot do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that do.
Reuben West communicates by connecting with his audience when he presents and when he's sharing a key message. Being able to connect and communicate your instructions clearly is a masterful skill.
The ultimate professional. Reuben is a guy that not only teaches a message, but also demonstrates the message. He's helped me to craft my art, and I'm sure he'll help you to craft yours.
Very accomplished international speaker, being able to just connect to any audience, no matter where they come from or what kind of people they are. He helps you and serves you in every kind of way to elevate you as a speaker, and I highly recommend him.
He is a people's heart connecting scientist with a using instrument of your voice and your appearance and your heart, touching people's heart.
His communication is unmatched. I'm Australian, he's American, and it really makes no difference as to our culture and where we have come from, because his message, the way he communicates it, is from humanity.
Find a way to take the next step. Thank you.
It's time for you to start bossing in social media. For all your social media needs, you've come to the right place at the right time to get your website designed, landing page, social media platforms, and get the training you need to get in front of the people that's ready to buy your products and services. Let me train you with StreamYard, Zoom, Clubhouse, and much more. And let me help you get your virtual professionals, not assistants, because assistants can only assist you, but the virtual professionals can give you that professional flavor that you need to expand your reach and increase your revenue. Jump on in and get in where you fit in and start bossing today.